Okay, everyone, hello and welcome to today's stream. Yeah, I've just realised I was just doing the welcome message and I didn't type in welcome correctly. I missed off the end. Just be with you in a sec. I'm just going to quickly grab a drink before I begin. Quick note: I'm not going to be able to type too much in the panel today because basically I'm using Open Broadcast and I'm using DOSBox to play Hexen. Hexen, of course, was released in 1995 and was developed by Raven Software and was published by ID. This is the PC version. Really, really fantastic game. We've had the Saturn version on the channel. I was kind of getting a bit fed up, people moaning about the Saturn version, going, "Oh, it's not as good as the PC." Well, yeah, the console versions weren't. But I thought, you know what, I'll actually cover the PC version today, sort of the end of the week. I thought I didn't want to change console, I thought we'd do another thing. So I had to actually fiddle around with this one because DOSBox doesn't directly use the newer direct draw drivers or direct L drivers, so I couldn't directly use game capture on OBS. I had to use window capture, so I can't click on any other window, otherwise it will start capturing them. I can only stay in the game frame, so I'm literally going to have to have the game in quite a small window. So I'm just going to be back in a sec, guy, to begin, but I'll just let you watch the track sequence play out for a bit longer. Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road. Who should I pick? The fighter, the cleric, or the mage? Can't remember who I picked in the original video. I'll go for the fighter. The magic's rubbish. It's actually easy with the eeny, meeny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. If it growls, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We'll go with the fighter then. Skill level, warrior. Now you guys get to look at a nice big screen because I'm scaling this. I have to put up with a little titchy screen because unfortunately in order for me to actually stream this, I've really got to put it in a window so I can see the comments and stuff, and the other thing is so I can actually check that it's streaming okay. So can't hear sound effects either, annoyingly. F2 will save, yeah, just in case I need it. Okay, now I picked a. So I just thought I'd show off the PC version to start. I mean, it is a great game, Hexen. If you're like this type of old school RPG, so you need the green emblem key. And this is the thing, it's sort of an FPS, but it's also a bit of an RPG. So was that tree moving? Or was that just me? And I did always really enjoy it. Do I have the mouse pointer on screen? Yes, I do. I'll get that off screen so you don't have to look at it. Apologies for that. Is there much I can do in the outside here other than look at... I know there are a couple of secrets around here. My memory is a bit... not great on Hexen, so admittedly I haven't actually finished it. I've got a way into it now, so I do need to finish it at some point. And in we go. Okay, so here's where things get interesting. So we've got potions there, but if I collect them, all hell will literally break loose. Health file there. Smashing the stained glass windows. Basically, this is a proper, like, explorative... I think... Was this using the Doom engine? It is a proper explorative game, so... It's far more explorative than I'd say even... certainly Doom was. It's got a really intriguing level of depth, and I do like games with... So let's brave the depths. Let's trigger that switch, and then here's where things get interesting. In fact, I think F9 instead of quick save. Choose a quick save slot. Okay, save game. Just to be on the safe side, because you never want to get crushed while you're playing. These sort of enemies really are sort of punch and hit away. So one of the things that most of the console ports were missing was actually the animation as the enemies walk around. Quite a lot of the console ports, their only animation is the one facing you. Now the Saturn port was actually very good. The N64 one's not bad either. Admittedly, it's not a patch on the PC version, so if you want a PC version, get the PC version. It does get a bit tiring. We seem to have a couple of people like commenting on the Saturn's one. We've got, oh, it looks rubbish. Well, actually, it's a pretty solid port. I've played it. I quite enjoy Hexen on the Saturn. Yeah, is it as good as the PC version? No. Well, what do you expect? Okay, that should have demon traps and booby traps all over. I should pick something up in there, but I think maybe there's a switch in here. Press. I've forgotten something. I think they might supposed to be either ogres or etins, these things. Oh, there we go, that's the switch I needed to push. That's what I was missing before. So now I have the green emerald key, and now I get the fun part. So now the booby traps trigger. I mean, I do like this. There's lots of cool traps and everything in Hexen. That's why I'm glad I saved it. Okay, that was me making a bit of a foul up. And yes, you need the ever-present. So shift is actually the run button in this. I'd forgotten. And basically, you need to press that down an awful lot in this. I wish there was an auto-run option. Oh, I do wish. I do like the fact many later games literally had the option automatically run. Okay, so if I get. Well, I was a bit too eager to re-get the key that time. This game really is an iconic FPS. The atmosphere is fantastic, and I wish there were more fantasy FPSs. There really aren't enough of them, I don't feel. I think in terms of fantasy, the genre does tend to get a bit underused, and I think it does work quite well. Now this game, as you see, is absolutely packed full of pitfalls, so you really do have to be very, very careful every move you make.
Greetings, mortal. Are you ready to die?
Just a quick double check there wasn't a jump button. Controls, options. Don't think there's a jet. Fly up, fly down. Drop one. I think I'll try the other side. At least I got one of the weapons. It does make things a bit easier when you've got something nice and big that cleaves everything in half. Literally striking everything at the minute. Oops, sorry about that. I clicked off it again. This is annoying with the window capture. Okay, so actually, now here's the part I wish I'd done a trial run because it's been a little while since I played this, and although I've done it all in the actual Saturn's version, I've got quite a bit further in the PC version. It's been some time since I've played this version, so you can't crouch, can you? I can look up, but I can't look down. Ah, shift, of course. There we go. Okay, it fell off. Okay, yeah, the run feature in this is a bit annoying, to put it mildly. Ah! Here we go now. I can't see where I'm looking. That was page. Info. Fly down, page up key. Look forward, look down, delete. Now it's interesting, things can get a bit hairy from this point on, so let's save again. The path is barred. Okay, this room, as I recall, goes absolutely crazy when I grab that. The whole thing starts falling down. Yep. And then we get an absolute mountain of enemies come for us. This battle axe is so much better than your default weapon. Amulet of warding. So yeah, you get a number of stone, and I believe you've got to stand on this one that the sword's pointing to. Yeah, the others I seem to recall kind of crush you a bit. Just going to deal with the minions out here, because basically each time you sort of go around and enter the ruins, more minions escape, so it's a good idea to kill them whenever you go and just tidy things up, else you'll have an absolute horde of minions on you, which isn't too pleasant later on. You really want to keep those minions down. I seem to recall there should be some of the shielded minions on this one. There we go. Hexen is definitely a game that rewards aggression on behalf of the player. You do have to be aggressive because the enemies are just as aggressive back. And it does require a bit more strategy than Doom, because of course you don't... Doom's always relatively simple because you've effectively got a weapon. Here we actually have to have some form, because you can shoot from range. Here we actually have to have some form of close combat attack, and we have to plan and move correctly to dodge blows and inflict blows. Dragon's still around. Now what I could do right now is some health. But I do love the exploration in this. This is actually really a sort of this was a sort of early open world FPS in many ways, with how the level design flow. The level design was really, really clever. And I think Hexen has aged surprisingly well. I mean, some people may not like elements of it. Certainly it's a bit of an odd FPS in the fact that close combat means you have to basically move in and out, and it's not something you traditionally did in an FPS. You just cut. In most FPS at the time, it was literally point, click and shoot, whereas here you have one that actually requires some strategy with how you formulate your blows, how you move around the enemy, you move in to strike, you pull back. And then you have this open worldness, so you know you don't want to grab all the health potions at once. It's worth leaving some behind in case you need them later on your way back. And there's upgrades. steel key. Okay, so the question is, where is the steel key? I do hope that wasn't in the other area earlier, in which case I'm going to have to traverse back there. Probably have to traverse back there, aren't I? No, maybe not. Third of the puzzle has been solved. Okay, so where's the other 2/3? I'm looking for chains to pull. I should use those quartz things earlier because they're health potions. You can tell I'm a little bit inexperienced playing this. So apologies that the start bits of the stream probably not as tightly knit as some people would quite like. Okay, that's probably opened up a door. That's probably... I'm guessing that switch has opened up something else. Maybe there's other 2 offshoot rooms? Does one of these come down now that I pulled it? The map again, info. Not full zoom. I don't think there is a map. Don't want to do that. Okay, so I've used 1/3. Does that mean I need to explore this, or do I need to revisit? Go back and try the other portal. Okay, I know exactly which room this is. This is the one where the whole thing falls to pieces into lava, so really, really quick. And that was why I saved there, so okay, that is a proper firefight. So wait till it all turns into lava and then make a dash for it. Okay, that's the second third of the puzzle, so... So I pressed that, I sold a third. There is, I mean, this is what I do love about Hexen. It's much more open world than Duo, and I'm always someone who does like puzzle solving. Admittedly, this can be a little bit too cryptic for my liking at times, but it's just such a great game to play. You need the fire key. Okay, I know exactly what happens here because I've died here countless times on Saturn's one. 92, yeah, that's good enough. So overwrite that one. And now I'm going to have to run like the clappers. And here's something interesting as the main cage, I believe, has started to open up, and then we start getting all the flying enemies. There's something else out there. There was another new flying enemy. Yet what's that trying to shoot me? I saw it appear. Some sort of gargoyle creature. Ooh. This game does like to throw new enemies at you when you least expect them. Actually, want to try. Oh, there are potions here. Okay. Still potions in here as well. So I will say using the run as the jump is probably the one thing I hate in Doom and this. It's just so overly sensitive. Well, I've got some potions, but I don't think I'll be coming back. I'll have to go back through the portal again by the looks of it. Actually, I should just double check there wasn't a... I got the warding thing on it. Just check there wasn't another... Okay, so we're back to... Back through the portal I go. Yep, oh, there's still potions in that one, is there? Brilliant, right. Let's go for this ice freezing maniac thing. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, 3 easy monsters that ride out of the sand. Ugh! Adult, in the words of Homer Simpson. So, yeah, right, we know that way, and... Should already be pulled, yeah, okay. Okay, my bad, I should have saved it a bit. Oh, that's not too far back. Oh, that's good strategy. Get them stuck on the door so their fireballs can't penetrate and get them to breathe into one another. Just the horrible ice monster in here. Really don't like this. It's just so you have to use the run, and it's just a bit too runny. So it's got. I mean, Hexen does have its flaws, and I'd be interesting to see what younger people who perhaps haven't played games like this think of something like this now. I mean, I'm someone who can generally still play games even with the flaws and stuff because I respect them. But I'd be interested to see if some of these games, I mean, there are one or two like the old Spectrum games that I find are very, very tricky to play these days because I think they've aged so much. Oh, that's what I killed. He got impaled on the ceiling. See, I actually find quite a lot of Spectrum games quite difficult to play now, not least certainly on the old Spectrum itself, because the default control schemes were terrible. Now, are these all going to impale me, or am I supposed to run off on that one? Feels like I'm supposed to get on one and just quickly run off or something, and then God, it's so quick. Okay, there we go. Right, that's got that bloomin' one. He was so annoying. So if I activate the last one. Does feel like the game is giving me the difficult task to traverse of a single step, which is somewhat infuriating. Come on, jump, 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 just... I do feel like there's a comedy sketch here of the picture of like a step, and he goes, "Should we jump it? I don't know. It terrifies me." It's not even letting me. Come on, guys, barbarian. This is ones. These are steps. Shouldn't be struggling to get. And what was your mortal enemy in Hexen? It was a step. Come on, you're not telling me I'm stuck here. The step is the most dangerous enemy in Hexen, it appears. So this is what I would call either I've hit a non-progression, either I'm missing something, or literally the barbarian's most dangerous enemy is the step. The step. Jump, jump, barbarian. Warrior. Info. There is not a jump button. Strafe. Look down, fly up, fly down. Page up. Let's try that. Jump. Oh, hang on. Ah, there's the minimap. Oh, wait. Did that actually just say jump forward slash? Ah, that's why. Okay, that's embarrassing. Really should have played this earlier. Just actually gonna let's trigger those ones just for the fun of it. So I'm assuming this is the. This will be the third and final. Okay, flaming demons to the left of me. Strange hall fort. So I have no idea what that's done, but oh, something's moving behind me. Okay, platforming in a first-person shooter. So, if I have to be honest, platforming in a If there is one thing I hate in video games, it is platforming in a first-person shooter. Don't know, technically this is really technically FPS is not quite the right word for this. This is more a first person hack and slash. Ah, now we get the amulet warding. It's actually an inventory item. And always good to heal up. Play for a little longer, see if I can actually finish off this stage, because I don't think I finished it off in the... So that was the Amulet of Warding. Just going to have to make a run across that. For 2 again. Now here's where things get a bit troubling. As mentioned, I'm not a big fan of platforming in FPSs. As that's normally what happens. Indeed, I just remember playing through Turok and Metroid, even Metroid Prime was guilty of having dreadful if you're a games designer, I will tell you now, platforming in an FPS game is never good because you cannot see your feet, so you cannot judge the jumps. It's a design flaw of really the actual genre itself. And it's one I would say to any budding developer, be aware of if you ever plan to make an FPS or game. Just try to avoid jumping. That said, I'm reminded of Fallout 3 as well. Some awful jumping sections in Fallout 3. Okay, am I just going to have to run for this? No, I've got the jump button as well, which I need to remember. And I need to press accordingly. I'll actually load rather than waste. So Hexen, I should remind people, was actually the sequel to Heretic. So I was actually debating whether to do Heretic, but I thought I preferred Hexen, so I fancied doing Hexen instead. I will tell you now, pressing run, jump and forward on the keys is horrible. Hopefully I got the ice creature. Tell me there's... Whenever I see ledges like that, I always think secret. Obviously not. Despite the fact it still feels... It's one of those games that still, I think, feels really, really... From how it is, it still feels like it's a huge game with how you explore it. Even though I suppose it is a relatively small game with the limitations of PC gaming. But there's just something still about Hexen that I do like. It just holds something... So, oh yes, I did get him. Okay, that makes jumping on that next platform a bit easier. Jump to there and then jump to that other one. Ow! As I said, this is why I hate platforming in first person. So actually the stream's pretty good. I was having to have said this is DOSBox, I've had to use window capture. The only downside I mentioned, whenever I log, if I click on anything else in the stream, it will actually revert back to the other window, which is annoying, so I can't actually type in chat or anything. Well, chat's been relatively quiet today, which isn't always... It's sometimes nice to have a quiet chat session. I was just actually watching a PewDiePie streamer and just watching the endless stream of people commenting, and I'm just aghast of... how you can actually read. I was just hitting return, so those with the foot I was throwing first. It's just the endless stream of people literally watching one of the streams, just thinking, wow. I guess we probably should get a slightly more streamlined. In old school platforming. Yes, yes. Now you make a very good point. Thank you, his face. I should actually do that. I've just changed. Thank you, his friend. Yeah, I'm kind of one of those old school gamers that kind of regards it as a little bit of cheating, but when it's when I'm failing this miserably at the minute, I think I will do that. Just because I absolutely hate. Now, can I do this without pressing the run, or do I need to press the run button? Answer, you can do it without the run. Next, I should grab the potions because I won't be coming back here. I do like there is some inertia on the ice platforms. You do slide a bit. Now that one I think I'm actually going to have to run for. Now this is where things get a little bit tricky. Mystic Urn. Okay, okay. So where are we? I'll just look down. So some sort of... Is that the fire key? Oh, this one's the fire key. So I'm going to... Yeah, this, as I mentioned, I loathe platforming in FPS. I just think it's terrible. Even in Doom when it first came out, and I remember playing this on the Saturn and just not like. I kind of didn't like the Saturn's version originally because it's such a small window. So there, jump and right. Let's risk it. Shift. That's a torch. What am I supposed to do with those? So Guardian of Ice, Ward. We've got some sort of weird sparkly effect now down there. Am I supposed to jump for them, or am I about to? That's supposed to be guiding me back. Ooh. Yay, right, so where... First person... Ooh, his face. I'm going to actually say I slightly disagree. I still wasn't a big fan of the first person platforming in Metroid Prime, I have to admit. It was better, I will say, but I still wasn't a huge fan of it. Oh, I can come... Ah, okay, so we now have swords pointing... I think, yeah, Metroid Prime is definitely better, and I think the later Primes would probably... I think maybe the first one I haven't really played. I know a couple of the other guys in the team have played through 2 and 3. I've not played Metroid Prime 3 really at all. I've only briefly played it. I've played the start 2. They're definitely better. I think... The game I really actually liked the platforming in first person was Titanfall, because that you jump on stuff and pull yourself up, and that was, I know that's not a sort of traditional first person, but that was, Titanfall really did showed me how I felt Titanfall was how Metroid Prime should have been. Titanfall, I really was impressed with how the jumping was. Okay, so I assume I'm looking for that. I'm now in an icy cavern bit. I assume I'm looking for the other pull switch. I hope I find it. I'm going to be really annoyed if I miss it. So that was actually 2 entries. Is that going to break? Is there anything behind this? Okay, maybe I need to go into the other one. Because look, there was doors on both sides. Oh. Oh, there's a key up there. I need to obviously bring that down. So maybe I need to go over the other side. I'm obviously looking for a switch to bring that down. I always felt Titanfall, I felt, had really good with the way you could just jump around. I think that for me got the jumping in first person finally close, but I'm still, even then, it's just something I've always never been a fan of platforming. In coming from playing all the Amiga games and even some of the old ZX Spectrum platformers and sort of console on the Super Nintendo, I've just never been a fan of platforming on first-person games. Right, so we've got a door here. Is this... Do I need to go through this one first to lower the key? And should say hi, his face. Thanks for joining me on the stream. It's nice to have someone actually commenting. I thought this was going to be a very quiet stream, but your advice was very helpful as well, because I tend to be a bit of an old school gamer, so much so that I tend to avoid using quick saves, but when I'm doing stuff like this I should really use it, because else otherwise it probably just looks a bit painful having a stream where I keep dying or failing. Okay, so I've got the ward. There's something around in this way, seeing as I walk. So this is obviously definitely the last of the puzzle ones. I think I've got to come back. Got the ward. There's definitely going to be a switch in here. Ah, there we go. That's what I missed. Yikes. Did they do it again? Are they... Okay, yikes. You know, I'm just going to take your advice again and actually save it. So F2 to save. Save that again. Okay, that was the run. Has that got me the key? Okay, the steel key. Yeah, I know exactly. I'm the same. I'm so used to the... I remember in Baldur's Gate just constantly hitting the quick save keys all the time. So now I'm going to have a confession. I think this is actually the furthest I've actually got in Hexen ever. Yeah, I remember Baldur's Gate hitting the quick save keys all the time. You literally like quick save. Okay, now I'm sure... Ah, the steel key. That was in the second area. That was in the second area, wasn't it? I remember where that was now. I've got to go back. Let's grab a health potion. I'm going to grab the one. That was... I'll just see if there's any stragglers around here. Yeah, I mean... I didn't actually really get a PC really play PC games till 98, so my sort of first big sort of PC games was sort of Shogo Mobile Armour Division. Until then we mainly had consoles. So in terms of my PC gaming, I didn't play many early 90s games except mainly the consoles versions. It is a confusing game, I totally agree with you, but I kind of like the Maverick structure of it. It just makes it, once you begin to get your head around it, it's really good if you like exploration. I am someone who really loves exploration, so for me this is kind of a good game, but for a lot of people this can imagine be very daunting. The other thing is the fact that it's definitely a game where basically your performance, you need to reserve your items and keep your health potions back. Now, no, that's the portal. I want to go in the other one. I should actually go through. I keep meaning to finish the Saturn's version just to see what it's like. For a while back I was doing the PC and Saturn's version parallel, but I think in this playthrough I've now got further through the PC version than I had done before. Guilty admission there. I think this was the steel key. I think. I think this one was the steel key. Yes. But yeah, it is a bit daunting. This is surprisingly, this is a very daunting game, Hexen, in comparison to Doom, because it's not a convention. It literally is an open world. I mean, it's an open world game, so it's very much. You really have to explore, and you've got to have a good memory. Get close to me. Shouldn't really. You have to find another switch. Ooh. Is there one on the other side of this section? And yeah, you're right in that progression, because it's sort of labyrinthy. Oh yes, those switches did change the outside, so I need to I need to venture out. You're right, you're moving around. There's a slightly odd progression structure because we're revisiting stages. So because I visited this one earlier, it does feel like you're retreading ground, but we're sort of expanding how we're exploring each area, which is a really nice way of doing it. Not so keen on the enemies coming back because you only have a finite number of healing spells and stuff. So, right, I'm assuming that another area's. Is there actually gonna be another area opened up? I'll just check that the switch. Metal doors haven't opened up, but I think you're right. In some aspects, it can be a bit odd to know where that you've really got to explore each stage and then remember what staircases opened or what doors moved since the last time you were here. They'll probably actually go down there. I'm just going to check. So that's still there. I can't move that. We have got enemies behind there. Do some chopping. It's a great idea attacking them behind there because they can't actually attack me at this point. don't think this was the area I was down earlier, but I just want to check nothing's opened up. It does save all the corpses as well, I notice. Yeah, I'm quite used to playing keyboard from back in the day, but having been a Spectrum owner, I remember, and having a little while back rekindled myself the Spectrum, I remember how bad the keyboard controls in this are actually pretty good, I will say. Yeah, if you're an old school gamer, it's probably not the best controls, but for someone like me, they're fairly rudimentary. You've got the arrow keys, Citrals, attack. I think shifts run, / is jump. It's not an ideal control system, but you can't. It's not bad. It's certainly not the worst. Some of the Spectrum keyboard layouts just were nonsensical and were almost physically painful because your hands were sort of all over the keyboard for no clear reason other than someone thought that some silly keyboard layout might have been a good idea. Okay, I seem to be getting myself a bit right down here, so I think I'm going to try see if something opens in this section again. Oh, there was still I think there was a secondary locked door down here, wasn't there? Yes, this is the new area. Look what horrors are going to become unveiled upon me. More dragons. So assuming this is like the other ones, yeah, we've got a new entranceway. I've got loads of health in this area, so yeah. The more I'm spending time with the control system, I'm beginning to actually get a lot more acquainted with it. Okay, it's got another door. Yeah, so this whole first area really is all about. Hello, this wasn't up. This wasn't open before. Dragon skin bracelets. It's really nice because I'm actually yeah, this is the furthest I've actually got in this game ever, and it's quite nice to actually just see the exploration. I think I had some health potions in this one, as I recall. Just gonna grab one. Yeah. And I'll remind myself actually I'll just do a save 10. So yeah, each time you feel like you're chipping away at this stage because you're gradually going forward with it's feels this because it's how this is. The stage feels like you're chipping away at it, but it does feel a bit. Oh, this is very similar to the other one. Okay, that's not great because it looks almost identical. But I know I haven't been here before. I wonder if low memory is the reason we have a room sort of identical area. Yeah, this is identical to the other area, so it's a bit weird. Not a fan of this. It should be slightly different. Oh, that's the steel key on them. I guess I kind of know the way around this area already, but it just feels a bit weird that I'm literally fighting through the same area again. switches. We got anything on the wall there? I'm just going to go to the other side again. There's nothing worse than leaving an enemy alive that then surprises you from behind. Right. Ah. Speaking of what I just said. The same up here, so literally the same. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. This is really a bit weird. The fact it just feels like deja vu all over again. That's different. That room wasn't locked before. Ah, that might explain why. Have I just walked into the wrong area? Have I just literally gone back on myself? So why would the enemies here? That feels a bit... No, that is the right area. It's literally the same. So yeah, so this would be the... This is the ice room. That's Hexen. Yeah, so literally that is the right area. It's just literally, it looks identical. It's confusing the hell out of me at the moment. We literally had one... Oh, maybe that's the point. Maybe... Obviously it's a space limitation. I assume I've got to find an additional switch in this version that's not in the other version, or one that I can't unlock in the other version that's in this one, but yeah. So we know, let's just see, so this is not a duplicate area. But it feels like one. It's a really strange way of doing it. Ah, these... are all four passages. Okay, I see what it's done. It's given me access. Okay, I can only assume I've got to pull all four switches. Basically, it's unlocked the two from... Surprisingly, I didn't think I would take this long in the stream, so... I'm actually spending longer than I was going to stream on this one. I think I will finish. Thanks for joining me on the stream, His Face. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do here. My suspicion is I've got to press these horns in a set order. Pull them all. Is that what... So basically I've unveiled the two... Yeah, basically it was revealed the two things from basically the two blocked areas is now lowered, but I am at a gasp as to what I'm supposed to be. Is something behind the... So there's a switch in this room that obviously by coming here I now unlock, but this room is really confusing as to which side I'm actually on now. Actually that's got a steel key. Yeah, this is really confusing in a minute. I will figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, glad you joined me. And I'm going to finish now. I'm going to save and I will end the stream because it's getting 11:20, so I kind of want to finish myself. I might actually carry on this a bit later, but thank you for joining His Face. Nice to chat to someone on the stream. I will end this randomised gaming stream there. It's nice that you jumped on at the end. It was nice to have someone to chat to. Certainly, it's an enjoyable game, Hexen. I do really like it, and it's an intriguing game. But yeah, as you said, it's quite confusing, His Face. So it's not the easiest game. It really is a very open world game. You've really got to think about what you're doing and where you're going, and you've got to plan tactically as well so you don't run out of stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. It will be fight night on tomorrow's stream. We will be fighting away on something, me and Random Gamer Dragoon. I have been your host, Random Gamer Riven, but in the meantime I wish you a good night, a good evening, a good morning or a good afternoon wherever you are in the world, and that's it from me. I will be back tomorrow, as I said, with the Fight Night stream. Thank you for watching. Thanks to His Face for joining me on the stream. I will see you all in tomorrow's Fight Night stream. Good night for now. Bye bye.